Hi, this is Regeline Sabat, also known as Gigi. You're listening to Walk With Me podcast. Today, we are going to discuss self improvement, well being, and a leadership mindset. My guest today is Beata Reid. Beata Reid is an in demand change and transition coach, international speaker, and change maker. Welcome to the show, Beata.
Thank you, Gigi. I'm so excited to be here. Cannot wait for our conversation.
You're welcome. It's an honor to have you here today. Now, why don't you start off by telling us about you and where you are from?
I am originally from Poland, but at the moment I live in United States already almost 10 years. So Colorado Springs, Colorado, if you want to visit.
I love it. Now, tell us more about your company, Beata Life Coaching.
Absolutely. So Beata Life Coaching started after Beata, which means me, got help in her life because of some struggles. And I decided to use my name because it's not easy to remember. You know that. You just had some couple challenges with that. I'm just joking. Well, Beata Life Coaching is basically about I empower my clients through change and transition, and it can be in life or in business. I focus their thinking on their strengths and their ability to overcome challenges successfully. And why I say focus? Because mindset is our thinking, and what we focus on grows, and focus equals emotions as well. So I help my clients to overcome challenges. Can be divorce, can be new job or loss of the job, breakup, any stuff that is stopping you from living fully and enjoying life at its core. What is life about? About living it happily. And it's not easy on a daily basis.
That's right. Very powerful. Now, tell us more about your live show, Meaningful Conversations with Beata.
Absolutely. So, about a year and a half ago, I was challenged by my friend, actually. It's not that I really wanted to have that show, but I was challenged by my friend because I did not feel comfortable about public speaking. And he said, well, then you need to have a show. And I was like, no, me talking to some, who knows, strangers and camera, no. And he's like, yes, when you say no, it definitely what you need to do. And I like to be challenged. So I said, all right, I'm gonna do it. And but then I was like, what I'm gonna talk about? Who do I want to have on my show? And my clients definitely confirm, you need to talk about what you do. You help us to bring more meaning into our life. So how about bringing other, and I am a change maker. I work about the change, and I like to implement change in my life. And I decided to bring other change makers that overcome some challenging situations in their own life, and now they are showing my audience that it's possible. Whatever you go through, it's possible. You just have to decide. So it's what my show is about. I bring people with the meaningful stories so they can help my audience to raise awareness and help them to take their own lives in their own hands.
Very powerful. Now, tell us more about struggling with accepting your accent after immigrating from Poland in 2011.
Accent? What accent?
I love it. What accent?
It's funny. Yes, now it's funny, but it was not funny at that time. So I moved from Poland in 2011. I visited United States before a couple of times, but I was not aware about my accent. I thought my English is pretty good until, you hear from someone else some judgment. And when I was working I work in a hospitality, very like top level service. But you can find unhappy people everywhere. And it's not that they are bad people, they are just going through some tough situations and they take this anger on you. And I was in that situation a couple times where my clients thought that they are not getting service that they were expecting. So that I heard a couple times, can I speak with someone who really speaks English, or go where you came from? One friend said, come on, be realistic. With your accent, you will never succeed in this country. So I just crashed. I was crushed. Like my inner self-esteem and the old stories about not being enough just came so hard on me. And I was like, wow, I should not even speak. Like, yes, why these people would like to talk to me if my English is so bad? So in life, you can find all reasons why you are not enough. And my reason to not achieve, or not achieve because I was achiever, but maybe giving up too early or not going after opportunities, was my accent. But it wasn't even my story. So later on in life, when I got a coach, she helped me to realize that the other people's opinions doesn't need to become my reality, but it's my decision. And at this time when I was struggling with that issue, that my accent is stopping me from having a better job, great relationship, and you can find all kind of reasons to why not you can be who you want to be, because in my case it was an accent. I realized that I can move forward and stop isolating myself from others, or I can live lonely and basically unhappy, because we are humans. We like to be surrounded with people. And I was separating myself because, again, who would like to listen to your accent? And then I hear, oh, you have very cute accent. I said, oh, this is what does it mean? They want something from me. So the stories that we tell ourselves can move you forward or keep you stuck in life that you don't really appreciate.
Very powerful. Now, what does self-improvement and well-being mean to you?
Self-improvement to me is ongoing process. It's the work that we have to do on ourselves every single day. And we talk about that just a little bit before we came live. Every day when I open my eyes, I have to decide how I'm gonna live today, because I never was that, happy person that I open my eyes like, oh my gosh, my life is so wonderful. I was not like that. I really had to go to the mirror and say, okay, you are alive. You have to do something with you. So putting the makeup is a one thing, but going there and really live your life is completely something else. And self-improvement is getting to know, for me, it's getting to know yourself, your strengths and your limiting stories, your limiting beliefs, patterns that are keeping you in a life, like I already said, that you don't really appreciate, because the outside results that you have in your life are just the reflection of your inner world, what is happening in you. And well-being is, again, similar, deciding every single day that today is the day that I'm just gonna do my best. I will take care of myself. So self-care is so important. Every single day when I go to the mirror, I say, I love you, Beata. You are important. And at the beginning, it sounds silly. And I was like, oh my gosh, what I'm saying, it's so stupid. Sorry for the word, but it's what I was, but it takes practice. Self-improvement and well-being takes practice, because life is a practice. We practice every single day who we want to be. Is a decision. Today, I want to be strong. Today, I won't give up. Today, I will be the person that I was not maybe yesterday, even.
I love it. Never give up. Very
Never give up.
inspiring. Now, tell us more about how our thinking has the ability to either get in our way or to propel us to great success, whether personally or professionally.
Absolutely. Like you said, it doesn't matter if it's a personal life or your business successful, the success that you want to achieve in your career. Your stories, your thinking is the biggest barrier that you can ever have, because your thinking is basically the self-image that you have, the opinion that you have about yourself. And it's not a secret that we always have more than one self-image. One is the hidden one, the secret that no one can really know about you. We hide our what we call it, that we are not enough in, I'm not enough to be CEO, or I'm not enough to be, I don't know, the dancer. But outside the people that you are with, you are showing them, oh, I'm tough, or the masks that we put. So there's always two self images, and the inner one, the one which comes from your thoughts, from your thinking, is gonna always win when you are faced with challenge. And the challenge doesn't mean something negative. Sometimes the challenge is to going after this promotion, this going outside and meeting that man that you only dream about, or this woman that you only dream about, because your self-image is saying, who do you think you are? She would never look at you. How many of you have thoughts like that? I obviously still have self-image that is not really supporting me sometimes. But what is important, I am aware of it, and I'm aware about the stories that I'm telling myself. Your stories can be also come from your childhood, from the parents, from your teachers, coaches. And the best way that I like to discover it is through writing. Because when we write, and it's research and it's science, it's not that I just came up with that, says that when we write, we cannot lie to ourselves. And it's so true. So when I started writing, I found out that my childhood experience, when I was told that I will never be normal because of my accident, car accident, actually later in my life turned into I'm not enough. I'm not normal. I'm not enough. So, what is your story? And the story that you hear in your head when you close your eyes, who do you hear? Is that you, or maybe someone from your past, someone from your family, someone from your school? You have to go there and find out. So, your thinking is your thoughts. It's the biggest power that we humans have, because it can prepare you for success, or stuck. You can be stuck in the life that you don't really appreciate. I've been there. I wanted to succeed. I wanted to have the promotions, but my accent, the story that I was telling myself, was stopping me. It's like, oh, come on, I'm not gonna apply for this job. Come on, they would never approve me. Without not trying, you will never know. Watch your thoughts, write them down, and find out what stories are keeping you stuck.
I love it. Now, you mentioned an accident. Can you talk to us more about that and what happened?
Absolutely. So it was back in Poland. I was 7 years old. Oh my goodness. What a dreamer I was. My goodness, just started the first grade. So I was proud of it. I was the first grade student, and in this small village where they were always telling education is the key in life. Education is the key for success and for everything. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's my first day. I'm gonna crush it. And my father picked me up from the after the school, and I remember the class that we had with our teacher. Well, she was just really were getting, like it was getting to know class, like who we are. And she asked this question: who do you think you will become when you grow up? And I was like, me, please, Miss Smith. It's not really Smith because it's Polish is more complicated, but to make this easy, let's call her Miss Smith. And she picked me up and said, yes, I see that you really want to speak. Who do you want to become? And I said, I want to be a butterfly, like the one on my backpack. Everyone was laughing. And I was like, why not? What is wrong with that? Never mind. She said, great, you can be a butterfly. And I couldn't wait to share that story with my mom, but she was my best friend. So we are going home with my dad, and I'm talking, oh my gosh, Dad, it was a great day. I want to share this with my mom. And my mom already was on the way home from work. I was like, oh my goodness, I see my mom. And then boom, there was this crash. So that huge truck hit our car, and I don't remember anything after. I mean, I don't remember anything after because I was unconscious, and I had a traumatic brain injury. Woke up, I don't know how many hours after or days after the surgery. My mom thought that I will not really be alive. She was devastated. But I remember the day waking up in the hospital with, like, I had a long hair. I was 7 years old. Every girl wants to have a long hair. And I woke up and I kind of touched my head, and there was a band-aid all over. So I move it and I can feel like there is no hair. Like, oh my gosh, I'm 7 years old. I'm a princess. What happened to my hair? And I started panicking. But then I hear a conversation, which was even worse than not having a hair. They had to cut my hair, between my mom and the doctor. He was basically saying, ma'am, your child will never be normal. Your child will never measure up to the other peers. Don't have high expectations from her. If she finished second grade or third grade at that time, that's awesome, but she won't achieve much. So just be easy on her. And there was so many restrictions. But anyway, what I've heard at that moment as a 7-year-old child, it was, I am not enough. I have to do everything in my power to cover it up. So it's when my journey of overachiever started. I was homeschooling for a while. Eventually, I got back to school, and to measure up to my peers and to be enough, I was working much harder than everyone else. I was still judged, but my classmates that I don't have to work that hard because I had accidents, so the teachers will be easy on me. You are just 7 years old. It's really crashing. So you put more pressure and more pressure on you, and you're taking it with you in life. So the 7-year-old, it was, on one hand, was a really tough kid and helped me a lot to fight through a lot of challenges later on. On the other hand, it was scared little girl that just wanted to be like everyone else.
Very powerful. Now, you talk about having a TBI, a traumatic brain injury from the accident, and now you are an amazing leader today. Can you tell us, what does a leadership mindset mean to you?
Leadership mindset, and this 7 years old really helped me with that, because to me it means that you have to manage yourself first, always. If you are a leader and you are not managing yourself, you cannot lead anyone else. Lead yourself first. And it starts with knowing yourself, who you are, what are your strengths, and where. I don't like this word where you are not enough. I like to say, where do you need some improvement? Know who you are, because when you know yourself, you also are able to you are able to look at yourself without judging others, because very often, and when you judge others, usually you put the blame on the outside world, that I'm not there because they did not give me this promotion. I'm not that person because he left me or I got divorced. When you really know yourself, you know that you are enough at the moment. You are enough for who you are at that moment and with the knowledge and tools that you have. So I think the leader really need to learn first about themselves before become leader for anyone else. And again, I'm gonna go where all of this starts here. Know your thinking patterns. They're gonna show up where you are blocking yourself and where you need improvements and where you are really shining, because you are shining on many levels in your life.
I love it. Now, tell us more about your experience overcoming depression.
All right. This is a tough topic because it takes me back to the experience, to the core of depression. Depression is not that it just comes, oh, just because. Usually there is some event in our life that cause us to feel less, to feel not enough, to feel left behind and disappointed. And it's what happened to me. I was engaged almost in my, so I was already in my 30s, but I was in a relationship for 11 years with this beautiful man. And it was, for the most of the time, it was great relationship. And just before our 11th anniversary, where I was like, oh my gosh, what this beautiful man is gonna surprise me with. And he surprised me in a not nicest way. He texted me that we are done, and he already is with someone else, so bye bye. So it was the only conversation text message that we had, because he never picked up my phone later. So I never had this closure. We very often, this closure is so important. I just wanted to hear it at that moment. I was questioning, like, why. And here the 7 years old came. I'm not enough. I'm not normal. I cannot even have a man with me. So I did not get that closure. Did not get this last conversation. So I created this story. That everyone else can be happy. Everyone else can have great relationship, but not me. It put me on almost 4 years tough time, even reaching out to counselors. It was not really, I didn't really got to the right ones, I believe, but it was back in Poland long time ago. They were maybe not that aware. Anyway, I was struggling. This overwhelming sadness was taking me to dark places. During the day when I was working, I was this beautiful smile, and I was serving to my clients with my open heart. But then you go back to home, there are four walls, you're in the bedroom, and your story starts coming. You're not enough, you see. You are suck, basically. Like, you're not like who you are. You cannot have happy life. All these negative thoughts, not even one positive. When you are depressed, you are like in a box, and whatever is in the box, and you see it that way, it's what you feed yourself with. So I was searching for all negative aspects on my life, not enjoying what was up front of me. And eventually sometimes it happens when enough is enough. You are so tired of yourself, you cannot even recognize yourself in the mirror. And I decided that I have to do something with my life, or I don't want to live. I really was thinking, but I was not brave enough. It's what I was saying at that time, to kill myself. So I was like, God, just take me away. I cannot I cannot deal with my life anymore. And God actually helped me because he basically, I had this thought, go somewhere else, change the environment. So I decided to come to the United States. Partially it was the God direction, and partially it was me running away from what I didn't face back there. So I came to the United States, and it's a totally new story. But as soon as I landed, couple days in, I realized that wherever you go, there you are, with all thoughts, all the stories, and the baggage, invisible baggage for me. And I always laugh because on the plane they allowed you only one luggage, but this invisible luggage that I was dragging with me, oh my gosh, you probably had to have like 8 planes. So yes, I very quickly realized that I just running away is not an option, that I have to do the inner work. Otherwise, I was alive but not really living. So what is the difference between being dead and not living your life? So it's when I decided to reach out to people that possibly could help me.
Amen. Running away is not an option. Very powerful. Now, you mentioned God having a factor or played a huge role in your recovery in regards to depression. Talk to us a little bit more about that and the importance of listening to Him.
Absolutely. Well, if you are like me, you're just a human. So you have this relationship with God, like sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. And at the beginning of my difficult times, the tough times, I was praying, and you're the best friend with God at these moments. Yeah, like, God, I love you so much. Why is it happening to me? Please help me to change that situation, whatever. And if it's not really changing, but it's not about because of the God, like because of your story, that the story that you tell yourself, I got upset. I was like, God, you don't see me, you don't hear me, you don't love me, I don't want to have anything to do with you. So I shut down. But when you shut down from God, is also not a really good place. I felt terrible, because this connection, this higher power that you can always turn to, was not there. I cut it off, not him. He's always there. But I remember I had the praying book, and I just throw it away, like in through the room. It's like, you hate me, I don't want to talk to you. But God is patient. God is patient, and he was always there for me, even in the times when I was so mad at him. I was so mad. He was always there, and I could hear it here in my heart. So I was looking sometimes in the corner, which I threw my praying book, and it's like, I'm not ready to talk to you. And he's like, take your time, I'm here, take your time. And eventually I reached to this praying book, and I was reading, and I was like, I'm sorry, God, I'm sorry, I know that you're like. And basically, without that connection, I would not survive depression. It was because I did not really got any help from counselors at that time. I was thinking about taking my life away. And the only thought that I had in my mind through all this time when I was praying is, you cannot do it. You cannot do it. You are still needed in here. You are still needed. Your mission is not over. So even I was mad, I act like a child. I just act on God like, well, you don't like me, I don't like you too. And it's totally normal. God is always gonna be there for you. You just need to go back and talk to him or her. Depends who you think in your mind who it is.
Amen. Listening to God truly matters. Now,
Yep.
you and I spoke, and you recently had a breakthrough in regards to what happened in your life. So, can you talk a little bit more about that and how God had a huge role in that factor as well, in regards to your transformation? Because you're truly glowing.
Uh, my recent transformation, are we talking about my?
Yes, in regards to what happened when you were two.
Oh, okay. Okay. So recently I was in this, I took a trip to Costa Rica, and I was part of the retreat, spiritual retreat, where we were guided to basically, and for some of you it can sound silly, but I don't know if I can say it. I don't care, because I believe that it's true. What is true for me, it's true for me, but maybe you want to listen. So we were guided to the different, to see ourselves in, like, from the observer point of view, as different dimensions. And I was guided by the leader of that group to the time when I was 2 years old. And what is surprising about that, because of my accident when I was 7, I did not remember. I have no memory who I was or how I looked before I was 7 years old. I just had this very, before the accident, couple moments when my father picks me up and all this stuff, but nothing before. I had no clue who I was as a child, except what my parents shared with me, but it was not really my memory. So I was taken on that journey, and well, your mind is there, so it's trying to really take over, but you have to go always with your heart and listen to the God. So my mind was saying, oh yeah, 5 years old, you were good, you don't have to go farther. And my heart and the God is saying, go further, go farther back. And like, I don't remember. Oh yes, you do. So eventually, after fighting with my mind, i I saw myself as a 2 years old child. And what I saw, it was that I was not happy, that there was a violence in my home, that my parents were fighting a lot. They did not really love each other at that time. My father was drinking, my mother was, I was the youngest one. There was 4 of us. And back in the time, it was a tough time for a family of 4 to live and support the family. So I was scared and I had no clue. And it impacted my adult life. But again, I had no clue. But the God guided me there so I can have the closure. The closure is so important.
I love it. And how did you feel after facing that reality head on just a few weeks ago?
First, I was shocked. Like, how is it possible? The mind is, the rational mind. Like, is it possible? Oh my gosh! But this guy, he said, you said that you believe in God. Can you see him? I said, no, I feel him. I said, oh, the same. So you go after your visions and feel it. You don't have to really rationalize it. And I was like, okay. And I trust my heart and the God that I have in my heart. And he just, oh my gosh. And I didn't share it with you before, but I can share it with, well, it's the first time when I share it. That's amazing. So at some point, when I had this closure as a child, then I was like, okay, but what is next? Like, what is next? I want to impact so many people. Where do I take it from here? What is my path? And again, it's not really about hearing, but feeling. I feel the voice saying, your path is in your heart. Like, whoa. So it's still a process. I'm still on the journey of putting all these pieces together, but my strength is out of this world. That power that I feel that I have is out of this world, because when God is with you, nothing is impossible.
Amen. Your path is in your heart.
Yes,
Lifting.
yes, I never gonna forget it. Like, your path is in your heart.
I love it. Now, what is your why that keeps you going?
My why is, well, there is couple whys, but the main that drives me every day is to help others to actually take their lives in their own hands with a God, or if you don't believe in a God, whatever you believe in yourself. Because if you believe in yourself, you can take yourself places that no others can even dream about. So this is my main why, to impact as many people as I can with my experience, with my knowledge, and my belief in them. Because I think it's very important, if when we don't believe in ourselves yet, because we are overcoming some stuff, it's very important to have someone else who can see farther than you can see at the moment. The leader, the coach, the mentor, the counselor, friend, husband, whoever, who can say, I believe in you. I know that you can achieve more. Keep going.
I
This
love
is
it.
the main why.
Amen. Now, what is your best advice to the audience for walking with purpose and living a life of happiness?
Um, I think the best advice that I received and I share with all of you is, because sometimes, let me just talk about that. Sometimes we have all this noise, I call it noise, others people's opinions, society, the Instagram and perfect life on the Instagram or social media. I'm not saying Instagram only, like social media. And we lost the sense who we are. So my best advice is, find out who you are in your heart, and do not let people without a vision tell you what is possible for you, because it's possible that they are wrong. And what then?
Amen. I love it. Thank you so much for being a guest on Walk With Me podcast. Now, where can the audience find you?
The best way is my website. It's Beata, Beata, lifecoaching.com, or you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out Beata at beatalifecoaching.com. And thank you again for being a guest on Walk With Me podcast. You have a blessed day.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.